Hey everyone, John Rettinger from Techno Buffalo here. Since Steve Jobs passing away yesterday, I've been debating whether or not to make a video. I wanted to be respectful of somebody passing away and not appear to be trying to capitalize or gain an audience or money from someone's death. And we've sort of been walking that same line with the site as well. Um, I wasn't sure what the appropriate thing to do was, but I thought about it for a while. I slept on it, um, and I decided to make a video. Obviously, this video is not going to have any ads on it. It's not going to appear on technobuffalo.com. Just my thoughts on Mr. Jobs and his passing. So I never had the privilege of meeting him, so I can't speak to anything personally, but it feels very strange to feel like I lost a friend, especially someone I never met. In a lot of ways, Steve Jobs changed my life. Before I started getting into tech, and I've talked about this in the past, I was in marketing, and I was working at a job that I was miserable at and I hated. My first video ever on YouTube was an unboxing of a MacBook Pro, and my first couple dozen videos were primarily based on Apple products. And that started me on this career path, which ultimately led me here into Techno Buffalo. And without that MacBook Pro, I wouldn't have started making videos. I started making them because I didn't know how to use my computer. I wanted to get a Mac, but I didn't know how to use it at all. It was my first one, so I figured I'd make videos and it would teach me how to use it, and maybe I could help some people in the process. So without that MacBook Pro out there, I never would have started making videos, and I never would have been down the path that I am now. I was talking about Steve Jobs passing yesterday to my dad, who appreciates technology, but doesn't know that much about it, and it's not his life or world. He likened his passing to actually the death of John Lennon. He said, "You feel privileged to have been alive in the generation, the decades when the Beatles were there. I feel like you were part of something that really helped change the world, whether it's true or not. Obviously, you weren't personally part, or he wasn't personally part of the Beatles, but it felt like he was part of that community." And I think that's the same thing with Steve Jobs. None of us ever knew him, or a lot of us, never had the privilege of getting to know him. But the man changed the world, whether you love or hate Apple products. He definitely changed the way companies look at hardware, the way companies look at software. He changed a lot of business models with the proliferation of vertical integration, and he changed the way that smartphone technologies are used. Maybe we would have seen some of these technologies come out if it hadn't been for Apple. Maybe we wouldn't have. But history played out the way it did, and the current tech atmosphere exists because of Steve Jobs. In a lot of ways, I feel like him and people like him are the modern Da Vinci's of our generation. And it's sad when some of that stature and that influence passes away, especially passes away at the age of 56. It's extremely young age to pass away. On a personal note, cancer is something that's hit my family, and I'm sure has affected a lot of you as well. And to see someone of that prominence fall victim to cancer is very awakening. To know that everybody is fragile. So while a lot of us didn't know Steve Jobs personally, I'm sure that all of us have lost someone in our lives that was important. So maybe we can take his death to not only remember what he did for the tech world, but also to remember what people that have passed have done for you. Maybe members of your family, maybe friends, or whoever that might be. And take a moment to remember them and what they meant to you. And, in that way, Steve Jobs can be remembered more than just a guy who ran a tech company. Can be remembered more as a guy who made you remember your grandparents, or made you remember your great-grandparents, or remember your friend who passed away years ago. That's how I'm looking at it. In a lot of ways, that kind of makes me smile to remember people that I haven't thought about in years, unfortunately. So just my ramblings on it. I will most definitely miss Steve Jobs, even though I never had the privilege of meeting him. But he affected my life and left a indelible mark on my career path and my life again. So just my thoughts. I'd love to hear what you guys think. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.